Hello, students, and welcome. This is our second installment of the evidence-based reading passages, and this week we are going to encounter what's called a social science type of passage that includes a passage that has to do with psychology, really. Okay, so just picking up where we left off last week with some of the techniques, and Mrs. Vaughn instructed us to, without a doubt, look at the what she called the blurb, right? The information right here. Okay, and when looking at that first part, we can make a couple of inferences or understandings. When we look at the title, it says, "Money can't buy love," and that makes me think of obviously the Beatles songs, "Money Can't Buy Me Love," and the subtitle, "Asymmetric Beliefs About Gift Price and Feelings of Love." Right, that word asymmetric. All right, you're familiar probably with symmetrical or equal. The letter A deletes equal, so it's not equal beliefs about gift price and feelings of appreciation. That gift price equals a feeling of appreciation for the gift given. Okay, so you want to read the passage like you were, as if you were going to tell a friend of what it was about over the phone. That'll give you a feel for the main idea. There's almost always a question about main idea. And then one of the things that's unique about this piece is the chart. Okay, so you want to give some thought to the chart on the horizontal axis is the assumed appreciation. All right, the or by the giver. Okay, and then the recipient here. Okay, and how much the giver thinks the gift is going to be appreciated. All right, and make sure you look at which one talks about the less expensive gift and then the more expensive gift, and that's for the giver, the recipient, and the less expensive versus more expensive. And then this part of the graph, the mean appreciation, all right, or average, all right, appreciation separated into units. All right, I have a level of 5 appreciation for this gift, or this one goes right to 5.5. All right, this one right here. All right, so you're looking at that graph, using that to answer the questions. Okay, just a couple more techniques before leave you to work on this and over the weekend. Couple techniques. Try to eliminate answer choices that do not apply. Okay, and always first read the question, but don't look at the answer choices until you have decided upon what might be a possible answer. Then look at the answer choices. Okay, cross off wrong answer choices that don't apply to your answer, and then select the best from the rest. Even if you can cross off one answer choice or possibly two, all right, you're in a really good spot. And that's and that's that. There, right? This goes to question 21. All right, so make sure you read carefully, and also, no one says you have to read. You have to answer these in order. Okay, 11 through 20. You can answer question number 12 first if you really wanted to, because it's a vocabulary question. There's another question later on in the passage that is a vocabulary question. So those tend to be a little bit easier to answer. So if you wanted to answer those first, no one says you can't do that. All right. So choose a technique that works best for you, and we will see you on Monday when we'll go over the answers. Okay. Have a good weekend. All right, and we are back, and to review the questions, starting with question number 11. And question number 11 asks you to consider what the authors might likely use the examples in lines 1 through 9 of the passage. All right, and they give you those words where the passage that they want you to, part of the passage they want you to think about. All right, starts with the word every, ends with the word showers, and I think two answer choices that you could probably cross off right off the bat are B and C. Okay, because this talks about gift giving and how much money, all right, is spent. Okay, not so much the anxiety, not so much the increase in the amount of money. Okay, so you may have been caught between A and D. Now, the reason why A is a better answer is because it's general. Now, that isn't necessarily true for all questions, but particularly for this passage, okay, D gets to be too specific and doesn't include everything A does, okay? The number of special occasions versus the regularity with which people shop for gifts, okay? Because it talks about everything, about the money, about the increase. So that's why choice A is the best answer, and that's what you're looking for, okay? You're looking for the best answer, all right? Some answers may be good, all right, or what's called valid, but you want the best one, okay? And that what choice A does satisfies the answer to the question best. Question number 12 is a vocabulary question, ambivalent, okay, in line 10. And in line 10, ambivalent, you may be familiar with another word that begins with A-M-B-I, and that is ambidextrous, all right? And that's, you could use either, or you could use either hand equally well, and projecting that into the passage and into that vocabulary word ambivalent, all right, you could go either way. So conflicted, okay, I could go one way, I don't know, I can't make up my mind. I'm not apprehensive, I'm not supportive, and I'm not unrealistic. So you can cross those off. Question number 13, all right. Question number 13, a series of questions that have to do with each other, but 13 is a question that has to do directly with the main idea of the passage. The authors indicate that people value gift giving because they feel it can strengthen a relationship. And there's the answer, okay? So you see how important it is to read the words that come before the passage, all right? Because we got a really good idea about what the passage was about and even what the passage was going to say, all right, or the point it was trying to make. Now, 14 has to do with 13 as well. So last week we called this, Mrs. Vaughn called it a double down question. 13 will lead to the answer for 14. And 14 asks about which choice best provides the evidence to answer the previous question. So you are looking for evidence to support strengthening of a relationship. And you may have to go back and take a peek at all of these lines, okay? But by and large, choice A, all right, does it best because it talks about how people value the gift giving. Okay, so many relish the opportunity to buy presents because gift giving offers a powerful means to build stronger bonds with one's closest peers. Okay, and the others don't do that as clearly or just not at all in regards to the content of the question. All right, question number 15, all right, another like kind of double down, and now we're into like triple down, but we're asked to put ourselves in the shoes of the social psychologists mentioned in paragraph 2 and what they would say about this dead weight loss phenomenon, all right, the idea that the giver thinks that a more expensive gift is going to strengthen a relationship or make it better or have the gift recipient appreciate it more, and it's actually the opposite of what the recipient would feel. Okay, so social psychologists are people who are kind of like psychologists, and they would look at the behavior of people from afar, and they might say, well, yeah, that makes sense that a person thinking that a more expensive gift will strengthen a relationship, that's not right. Okay, so they would call it they would say, yeah, that's predictable. Okay, in choice A in 15. Okay, they would say, yeah, well, gift givers are predictable that way. Choice. Question number 16. The passage indicates that the assumption made by gift givers, all right, again, this is like a quadruple down. The passage indicates that the assumption made by gift givers in lines 41 through 44. All right, so you might even want to turn back and look at 41 through 44, and it says gift givers equate how much they spend with how much recipients will appreciate the gift. The more expensive the gift, the stronger the gift recipients' feelings of appreciation. Okay, and then they would say, all right, the gift givers, they're wrong. All right, they're wrong in that regard. All right, I think the message that's being sent throughout this passage is not the price of the gift, but the thought. We're very familiar with the expression, it was the thought that counts. All right, and certainly, we can even look to our own experiences. When someone really thinks about what you might like as a gift, your level of appreciation is higher. And if a gift is just really expensive but not so thoughtful, you might say, ooh, and you might even feel awkward in saying, wow, this, you shouldn't have done that. So the idea that they think it will strengthen a relationship is incorrect. All right, and now the next page, number 17. Number 17, which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? This is like 5 in a row here, all right, all about that main idea, okay? So 17 wants to know some evidence to support this. So which one of these lines best supports that, okay? And now in choice C is going to say that the best, okay? Because the gift givers assume that recipients will have a greater appreciation for costly gifts. And it says in those lines from 63 to 65, they may not construe or understand smaller and larger gifts as representing smaller and larger signals of thoughtfulness and consideration. Choices A and D, they address the question of why gift givers make specific assumptions, and choice B is incorrect because 55 through 60, it focuses on reasons people give gifts to others, so those aren't correct. Question 18 has to do with the word convey, all right, and sometimes a good technique is to use a smaller word for a vocabulary question, all right. So in line 54, all right, the word convey, and the passage says, perhaps givers believe that bigger, i.e. more expensive gifts convey stronger signals. And a word that we might use to substitute for convey is give. Give stronger signals, all right? And give stronger signals in what you are relaying to your to the recipient, okay? And that word is communicate, okay? Well, what you're doing, you're giving a signal, you're communicating, okay? Not transporting, counteracting, or exchange is a word I think is thrown in there because of what is a word that's often used with gift giving, the exchanging of gifts. So just be very careful with words like that. Number 19, the authors refer to the work by Kammerer and others, okay? So they cite this study, this work of other social psychologists, and they do this, and I think that you might be torn between two, all right? They don't introduce an argument and they don't question a motive. You might have been caught between A and D. Now, the reason why A is the answer is that we're not reaching a conclusion with the work by Kammerer, okay? We're merely giving more evidence, okay, to support this this explanation of why gift price doesn't necessarily equal or approach recipient appreciation. Question 20 has to do with the graph. The graph following the passage offers evidence that gift givers base their predictions on how much a gift will be appreciated on, and we've been talking about this all along, about the money. All right, it's not the money, it's the thought that counts. Okay, but from the perspective of the gift givers. Okay, so make sure that you note that. And then finally, 21, the authors would likely attribute the differences in gift giver and recipient mean appreciation as, and their inability to shift perspective. Okay, um, the gift givers don't account for how the gift recipients might react. Right, they don't put themselves in the gift receiver's shoes. Okay, and when the gift givers are the gift receivers, okay, they don't take into account how they would feel as gift givers. Okay, so this inability to shift their perspective, right, from gift giver to gift receiver and vice versa, choice A certainly does that. Now, B and C are not correct because neither the passage nor the graft addresses that idea that society has become more materialistic. Okay, um, and I think that harps on the idea of the cost. Okay, but it doesn't talk about that perspective, right? They've learned nothing from being in either role. All right, and then C doesn't do that either, and choice D is incorrect because the passage emphasizes gift givers and gift recipients and their failures to understand each other's not so much intentions but their perspectives. Okay. All right, so that is it for this passage. Okay, you will continue to gain more tactics as we continue our study of SAT evidence based reading. And try to pick up more things as we go. And if you pick up one or two things for each lesson, I think that you're doing a good job. And we'll be ready to take on the SAT. All right, so long. And also, here are, before I forget, the explanations that you can take a look at and review, rewind. Okay, so I'm just going to make this part of the recording. Okay, I'm going to go through it pretty quickly, but then you have the opportunity to rewind it when you get the link from your teacher.